Hi everyone, and welcome to Mining Indaba's first one-on-one video interview close-up, part of our new and first digital content diary that aims to provide you, our audience, with information that keeps you in the know and builds momentum around our plans for 2024. The digital month of May features the much-loved critical, or as I call it, transition minerals, but we dig just a little deeper in exploring what this means for Africa in terms of global demand versus in-country beneficiation opportunities. And I have the perfect candidate to talk about this, CEO Simon Hay from dual-listed Lithium, a junior who is set to pass the finish line in delivering the first commercial lithium production in West Africa. Simon is going to put Mali on the map and share just how his company is going to disrupt the lithium supply chain in Africa with significant volumes coming into market when they start producing. He will also share insights into end user markets and explore just what is needed to bring greater in-country opportunities to Mali and by extension, Africa as well. Join me as I chat with Simon about his company and how it is positioning itself to join the global race for lithium demand. Simon, great to have you join me today. Thanks so much.
My pleasure, Laura. Great to be with you.
So Simon, Lithium is in the process of constructing the Goulamina lithium mine in Mali, which, if I'm not mistaken, will be the first fully commercial operating lithium mine in Africa. Correct me if I'm wrong. But can we start by just understanding the key fundamentals of your project, production, short and long term, and also the lifespan of the project?
For sure. Look, we'd love to claim to be the first in Africa, but we're not quite. There's a couple in Southern Africa that are in operation. We'll definitely be the first in West Africa to come into production. The scale of our project is probably a key part of attraction of Goulamina. It's very large. We're in the top 7 global lithium, hard rock lithium deposits. We're aiming to build a project of 500,000 tonne per annum spodumene capacity. That's going to cost us around about $318 million US to bring into production. And we're approximately halfway through the project. So yeah, not too far now, a bit over a year, and we'll be back and we'll be in production.
Super, thanks, Simon. So look, I mean, I don't have to remind everyone just how valuable lithium is becoming as a key mineral for the green transition for the planet, right? But with that said, is your plan, Simon, for Lithium's production to be utilized globally for electric vehicles, etc.? And maybe you want to just outline in detail who your end user market will actually be for your project.
Yeah, for sure. Our JV partner is Ganfeng Lithium Group. They're China's largest lithium chemicals company by production capacity. Ganfeng own half the project, with Lithium owning the other half. Now, stage 1, 500,000 tonnes per annum of spodumene, that will all go to China, and Ganfeng will convert that into lithium chemicals. Ganfeng currently supply the major EV automotive manufacturers in China. This includes the likes of BYD and other Chinese electric vehicle makers, but also includes Western makers like BMW, Tesla, VW, etc. So they do supply a broad range of electric vehicle manufacturers in China, and that's where Goulamina lithium product will go for stage 1. Stage 2, after we've built stage 1 and bring it into operation, we're likely to expand the project. The current life of mine is 20 plus years, and the deposit is open. We're still drilling and discovering further lithium pegmatites on the site. So with a large deposit, a long mine life, we're looking like bringing in a bigger stage 2, and we're currently just considering where we send that material. It may go to regions other than China.
So Simon, naturally that kind of leads me on to my next question, because sort of as I've been as I've mentioned, you know, African governments are really focusing on in-country beneficiation opportunities because they want to create greater economic wealth from their minerals. So what is Lithium's stance on supporting local beneficiation opportunities? And if you do intend to support it, how will you support it? And maybe you could also talk about the financial impacts as well.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we've had some early stage discussions with the Malian government on further beneficiation of our deposit. Firstly, the government's quite mature, I thought, in their approach. They certainly understand that we need to bring the mine and the concentrator into production, generate cash, before you can start thinking about further investment and going downstream. So a very sensible and mature approach. I think at a later stage, we'll definitely have to talk about what we do with further value add in country. I think Mali has some challenges in that the next stage of lithium beneficiation is going to lithium chemicals, so lithium carbonate, lithium hydroxide. These are large-scale chemical facilities, often costing $1 billion or more, and needing a lot of infrastructure and a lot of support services. So they need reagents, they need low-cost power, they need other chemicals, businesses nearby to support them. So Mali currently doesn't have that. So there are some challenges, some significant challenges, should Leo decide to go downstream in Mali.
At least, Simon, you're showing the interest there, even though, as you say, there's some challenges around it. And that leads me to the other element of what I wanted to chat to you about, which is infrastructure, logistics. You know, if Africa really is the critical mineral silver bullet, as a lot of people are saying, how does the continent overall overcome logistical constraints around, you know, producing these minerals in abundance and getting them where they need to be? I mean, what's your stance on that, Simon?
Well, I think what could be better for Leo at Goulamina? Of course, we could have better roads, we could have rail network, and we could have renewable power. That would be ideal. And that potentially could come down the track. But what we're confronted with at the moment in building Goulamina is we're off the grid. We have to, you know, generate our own power. There is a hydroelectric power scheme nearby, but that feeds into the national grid. So, you know, an industrial user can't take power off the people. So that's not something we're considering. But down the track, could that hydroelectric power scheme be expanded and supply Goulamina? That's something we would love to see longer term. I think rail transport, of course, is far more efficient than trucking. It's safer, lower carbon footprint. So again, that's something we would look at for a later stage. There is a rail network in Mali from Bamako to Dakar, and that it's currently not reliable enough for us to use on a daily basis. So there's some key infrastructure support that we could get from the government if it was in position to assist us. What I would say, though, is the roads are far better than we thought. We've recently surveyed both roads to the nearby ports that we intend to use. We think the logistics operation that we need and the structures we'll put in place and the partners we'll use will be able to deliver our product to port efficiently and effectively.
Thanks, Simon. Again, good news that it's not a total lack of infrastructure. There's just areas that, as you said in the previous question, need to be improved and focused on. And I'm glad to hear that Leo Lithium is looking at those and exploring those when the time is right. If I can just close off our interview, Simon, in summary, just to hear your view generally as a new, you are a new entrant coming into commercial production next year with your mine. How do mining companies find the right balance between supplying with global demand for critical minerals and also working with government to improve their own economies? What would your general message be around the theme, Simon?
Look, I'll definitely focus on Mali, and I look at some of the things that we've found to work quite effectively. So first of all, the government's very supportive of the project, as you would expect. The fiscal regime in Mali appears to be stable for the gold mining industry. It's been operating there for many decades, and we see those gold miners contributing to Mali. And you know, the mining permits, the concessions being respected by the government. So it's stable in that area. So we expect stable fiscal regime when we're operating, and we believe that the tax, the royalties, everything that we pay is about right. There's a significant contribution that Lithium will make and Goulamina will make to the Malian economy, and we think where it's pitched with their tax rates, their royalty rates, is pretty consistent with what you see in a number of jurisdictions. We think the project will be adequately supporting the government and the local community through that tax take of the government. So I think that's the best way we consider it. It will be a jointly, the country, the region, and ourselves will really benefit from this project.
Fantastic. Thank you, Simon. I think one forgets just how valuable a mining project is to a country just in the form of what it's doing, as you say, through royalties and taxes alone. So it's always great to see the likes of Lithium really putting their time and investment into a country. And I'm glad to hear Mali you consider to be a really stable jurisdiction as well. So thank you for your time, Simon. Really appreciate it. Love to dig deeper into the subject with you, and I can't wait to see Lithium move into production next year.
Great. Thanks a lot, Laura. Really good to talk to you.
Thanks, Simon.